So we got the 330 spoilers, and this is one of the best chapters of the year by far, and in a year where we've gotten really good chapters. So let's get into it. The title of the chapter is I and I. In Japanese, it's ore and boku, which are two different words used to refer to oneself. Ore is used by Shigaraki and boku is used by All for One. The chapter begins with one of the pilots of the jets answering Star's question from last chapter. He says that this is Tomura Shigaraki, not All for One, and that he can cause shockwave attacks. The jets then activate a force field and ask Star if they are going to attack or retreat. She replies, smash, obviously. They then get into a specific formation and go on to attack. Meanwhile, Shigaraki is talking to himself, saying that he feels weird. At the same time, he knows he is Tomura Shigaraki. He simultaneously has no doubt that he's All for One. Interesting, we're like beginning to see a meld of the minds between them. He begins to attack. He uses a combo of radio waves, push, and encumbrance. Shigaraki says that it is a contest to see who will touch each other first, but Star is already preparing to go all out. So yeah, I guess that's implying that Star also has a touch-based quirk. She says, in a space 100 meters from me, the atmosphere ceases to exist. Soon after, we see a huge transparent star forming around Shigaraki. His eyes begin to bleed and he cannot breathe. Star and Stripe's quirk is called New Order. By touching something and calling its name, she can impose a new rule over it. Oh my god, that is easily one of the best quirks ever, and I think it might not even be hyperbolic to say that this is the undisputed number 3 quirk. Like number 1 and 2 are One for All and All for One, but this is like a close third to them. And also just showing that she's an insane master of it, because she had technically touched the area that Shigaraki was in, since you know they're in jets in the air moving. So I assume that's how she was able to impose that rule on that, you know, area 100 meters away from her. And also just the application of it, removing the atmosphere from that area. And then we see like Shigaraki suffocating. Like, that's an amazing sequence there. While Shigaraki is stunned, the jets start shooting lasers at him from all directions. The pilots think that they have beaten him, but Star warns that it is too early to brag. Shigaraki combines reflect and diffuse and sends the lasers back. One of them goes towards Star, but she touches it and says the laser will be held by me, which indeed it does. Wow, that's crazy. Just no time wasted in this chapter, showing how versatile and ridiculous this quirk is, just offensive and defensive. Like, this is an unbelievable debut for a new character from Horikoshi. Like, it's up there with Mirio's introduction. Shigaraki's body starts to regenerate and he jumps off the Nomu towards Star, but she does the same and lands a punch right in his face in midair. So at first I was wondering about this, like, because she's super muscular, we assume that she's just really strong, which, you know, she is. So then after we found out what her quirk was, I was like, okay, so I guess she's strong in the same way that like Endeavor is. He's basically as strong as a super strength quirk, but I guess he trained to get that strong. But no, it turns out that there's something else to it, which we're about to find out. We then see an internal monologue from her, saying that she can only create 2 rules at a time. She always keeps 1 on herself, which gives her super strength. So that's it, and that's incredible. It just keeps going. Like, this is such an amazing character with an incredible moveset. Like, I am so impressed with this. That's such an amazing application of this ability. And it also makes me wonder, like, is she like All Might in a way, to where like when she casts super strength on herself, does she become big in this form, or is she always that big? And maybe she has like a true base form, kind of like All Might, but not to like nerf degree that he is, but she's just more slender maybe. Star starts talking about how she was saved by an exchange student who came from Japan when she was a little girl. She and her family were on their way to the Santa Monica Pier when they were approached by a robber. While she was begging for her little sister to be spared, All Might appeared and defeated him. She says that those two antenna-like hairs will forever be stored in her mind, and that he became her spiritual master. That's why she made her own hair look like All Might's, only with 8 antennas. She wants to contribute even more to peacekeeping than he did. Okay, that's a little misleading. Maybe you should have said that sooner, Star and Stripe. When we first saw her, she was like, my master's in a pickle. And we, the audience, or at least most of us, took that quite literally. Maybe if she just said, you know, my spiritual master's in a pickle, and we wouldn't have, had to waste our time speculating for 2 weeks. But also, All Might has done like everything at this point. He's interacted with everyone. He's like Michael Jordan fused with Arnold Schwarzenegger fused with Michael Jackson. Shigaraki is mad because everyone keeps talking about All Might, no matter what country they are from. Star says that this is precisely why he became known as the symbol of peace, and warns him that her quirk also works on people. Then she says, if Tomura Shigaraki moves even 1 centimeter, his heart will stop. Oh my god, this is so cool. The focus then shifts to the vestige world inside Shigaraki, and we see that All For One is taking over his body like a parasite. He says that he's still incomplete, something like 97 or 98%, but Shigaraki's hatred is causing them to become a single being. Okay, so I did not expect him to be this complete. I thought maybe it would have been like 85% or something, but wow, he's nearly at 100%. And also this is confirmation that their minds are melding. This being is neither All For One nor Tomura Shigaraki. A new identity is emerging. The real world Shigaraki then shouts, no, and shakes his head. Star doesn't understand why his heart hasn't stopped like it was supposed to. She wonders if he is not Tomura Shigaraki. Okay, so that's pretty cool. He inadvertently found a way to nullify her ability, at least by like claiming his name and his actions. This is like Death Note vibes, right? Because that would also work the same way. Like if you thought that was Shigaraki and you wrote his name in the book, it wouldn't work because technically right now he is neither Shigaraki nor All For One. So he has like a nice little loophole that he probably didn't even intend to create. All For One starts talking through Shigaraki's body, saying that if he hates him, then he needs to hate him even more. It is this hatred that will give rise to our bright future. Shigaraki's hair comes loose and his eyes turn white. Is Shigaraki go bald in this chapter? Not really sure. I haven't seen anything that shows this. He remembers his home and says that it was in that place that his hatred began to build up. Okay, interesting. His home, the hatred began. We all know that backstory, but what we also don't know is that guy that dropped Shigaraki off to his mom with the hat and the suit. Basically, All For One. We still need confirmation that All For One gave Shigaraki DK and started all of this. And I think this line right here is setting up that big inevitable revelation / flashback. The last panel of the chapter shows a large explosion in the sky surrounded by black lightning. Okay, that might be Shigaraki or / All For One doing that, because the black lightning is associated with one of All For One's like most powerful quirks, which hasn't really been like completely identified, I guess. It's like that black and red energy stuff that he could do, that we saw him use against Nana, and also he could kind of do it against All Might, but not like to the extent that he did against Nana. So this might be that quirk coming back, or at least I hope so, because I really like that quirk. I actually based my OC around it. But also there's gonna be a break next week, so no chapter. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the spoilers, and this chapter, like I said, is incredible. Already one of the best of the year. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.